So Chris Smalls went on CNBC. Now he's being invited on all these news outlets after the Amazon labor union victory. He wasn't anywhere beforehand. I mean, when he first got fired, when he led the walkout over a lack of protections during COVID, yes, some news outlets talked to him then. But then as he started doing the labor union organizing, nobody was talking to him in mainstream. Nobody was talking to him in mainstream media. Nobody was. Nobody. Okay? Except, well, we're not mainstream media. We're independent media. But Crystal had him on Breaking Points about a zillion times. And we had him on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends before the victory, when they were doing the labor union drive. You want to know why? Because we care. And we actually wanted the Amazon labor union to win. And so we were ahead of the story. They are behind the story. And that's indisputable. It's indisputable. So Christian Smalls, now he's being invited on all the, mainstream media outlets. And he goes on CNBC here. Look at the nature of the question being asked, or questions, I should say. And then I think he hits this out of the park with his answers. Take a look.
This started as a highly contentious relationship between you and Amazon to no small degree because people there belittled you, alienated you, thought they could win by making you the face of the union push. But you've won this round. So my question is on your strategy from here. Amazon's got a new CEO, right, since you started this. You are now a national figure in this new labor movement. What's your approach from here? To what degree do you think you can cooperate more with Amazon leadership, or to what degree do you think that's wise?
Well, they don't have no choice. The revolution is here. That's what we just witnessed on Friday. We're going to organize buildings all across the nation. We in the last 72 hours, we've been contacted from workers all over the world. So they want to unionize. We're going to absolutely help them. We're going to get it done here in New York first. We have another election coming up in 3 weeks, so we're right back at the campaign, on the campaign trail. And once we're finished here in New York, we're going to spread, just like the Starbucks movement is spreading across the nation.
Hey, Chris, you clearly understand a big part of the Amazon workforce. But for those who voted against unionization, what were their reasons, do you think, and what do you have to say to change their minds?
Well, I don't think we have to say anything too much. They were misinformed. Amazon spent millions of dollars putting them into captive audiences for the last few months, every 20 minutes, every single day. So imagine being put into a classroom, being drilled anti-union propaganda for months. Of course, some people are going to fall victim to that. And I think that's what we saw. A lot of people just really didn't know. They were undecided. The company's telling you to vote no. This is their main source of income. So, of course, they went with that. But I think if we show them better, then we talk about it. We deliver a contract. We improve the quality of life. I think they'll all come around and be on board.
To what degree are you going to personally engage with Amazon on that? And to what degree do you change into more of a diplomatic mode now as they need to talk to you?
Well, that's what we have lawyers for, so we're going to add more to our cavalry. We're going to bring in more legal representation. I just have to oversee it, just make sure that this is what the workers want. That's my job as the interim president. Whatever the workers want, we make sure we put it in writing and we give it to the lawyers. The lawyers deliver what we want. And that's exactly how it should be. The workers should be the ones making the contract. And that's what we're doing right now. Currently, we already dropped off 2 letters to the general manager, letting them know our demands and letting them know how it's going to go from here on out. They have to come to the table eventually. If they don't, we will take further action. I have no doubt in my mind that we'll receive all the help and support that we need to deliver a contract now that the world is paying attention.
Damn, he killed that. Let's go through it. The first question is like, well, Amazon has a new CEO. What's your approach from here? Can you cooperate more? Is that not wise? So they're asking him like, okay, all right. But now everything's going to cool off, right? And you're going to come to the table with management and you're going to be reasonable, right? Now, in their mind, what is reasonable? In their mind, reasonable is like, take whatever scraps they're willing to give you. That's the gist. I mean, it's CNBC. CNBC, for those of you who don't know, is beyond abysmal. They may even be worse than Fox News. Oh, seriously, they may even be worse than Fox News. CNBC, during the lead up to the 2008 Great Recession and stock market crash, they were literally doing rank propaganda for the big financial institutions. They'd invite on the CEOs who were like, there's no downturn coming. Invest more of your money in us. This is wonderful. It's supposed to be the financial expert outlet, financial news experts, and none of the hosts saw it coming. And in fact, they were arguing the opposite. Oh, it's sour grapes if you think there's going to be a downturn. This is a bull market. I don't know what you're talking about. And so they would just allow the CEOs to come on and do rank propaganda. And I'm sure a lot of people lost a lot of money believing those charlatans and those con men and those frauds. They are just the mouthpiece of corporate America. That's all CNBC is. So the nature of that question is like, well, you're going to be reasonable, right? You'll take whatever scraps they give you, right? I love how one of his responses is, the revolution is here. They don't have a choice. Yes. Inject that straight into my veins. And Chris says, we got people contacting us from all across the nation, from all across the world. And we're going to organize buildings across this nation. It's time, baby. It's time. There are a lot of lessons from how they succeeded on this front. There are a lot of lessons that other workers need to take to heart as to how you fight back, how you win. And Chris can teach all of those lessons. Then he's asked about, well, what about the workers who chose not to unionize? Well, Chris explains, no ill will against them, but they were effectively brainwashed. They were force-fed anti-union propaganda by Amazon. And as soon as they see the value of the union, then they're going to understand it, because we're going to deliver a contract that improves their lives, improves the working conditions, improves quality of life. I love that answer. I mean, it's it's pitch perfect, that answer. Look, they're not our enemy. They're our allies. I understand why they did what they did. They were afraid, hey, what if I vote for it and I lose my job or whatever? But we're going to deliver for them, and then they'll see why this is the right thing. You know, look, why did it succeed in New York and it didn't succeed in Bessemer, Alabama? Well, in Bessemer, Alabama, you know, those were like the only jobs available. So they didn't want to, potentially risk losing their source of income. That's understandable. Alabama is also, has a history of really not being a union stronghold. New York is one of the most pro-union states in the country. And if you don't work at Amazon, there are other places where you can work. And so even if you lose that job, it'd be terrible. I'm not trying to downplay that, but people would have other options. And also, Amazon really doesn't have the option of pulling out of New York, where maybe they could have pulled out of Bessemer, Alabama. So there are a number of reasons why it worked. But I love his answer there. Truly is, the tone of it is on point. Then he's asked the question again, to what degree do you change into diplomatic mode now? So, hey, you're going to be reasonable, right? You're going to, play ball. You're going to take whatever scraps they're willing to give you, right? And his response is basically, no. Like, I'm here to represent the workers. Now, we have lawyers who are going to engage in the negotiation, but I'm here to represent the workers. And if Amazon doesn't play ball, we will take further action. Oh. Chris, you're nailing it, man. You're nailing it. That's him saying, here are our demands. If you meet them, that's great. If there's a little bit of a give and take, but we can come to an agreement, that's great. But if they are not reasonable, well, now we're unionized, and we'll just go on strike. That's what he's saying there. The reason why this is so impressive and important is that in so many different ways, the left in this country has been slapped around, disrespected, spit at. We've had loss after loss. Anytime there's a victory, it's just like what one would call a moral victory, right? This is an example. Ain't no moral victory, bitch. This is a victory. And it shows you that some of the most promising headway is on unions, collective bargaining, organizing, on the ground, bottom-up action. It is working. It is working. Remember the John Deere protests where they got a good contract? The John Deere strike, I should say. It's working. Workers are taking back power. For the first time in my lifetime, they're taking back power. And all they had to do was look at each other and realize the power that they have. Hey, if we stand together in solidarity, we can get some fair working conditions. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. They're going to come at us with everything they have. But if we truly stand in solidarity and if we unionize, we can win battles. And so this is a spark that's going to lead to a wildfire where not just other Amazon facilities are going to unionize, and they are, but also workplaces across the country. People who were never thinking about a union before, who now look at each other, the workers look at each other like, you want to give this a shot? You want to maybe do this? And that is so encouraging. The things that make me happiest, where I see the most hope, the union movement going on the offense now and expanding, and direct ballot initiatives, which of course, like 80% of the time, roughly go the right way, where you give people in a state a direct vote on something and they almost always pick the right thing. I mean, Trump won. In 2020, Trump won the state of Florida, but they raised the minimum wage also through a direct vote. So 60% in Florida voted to raise the minimum wage. So that shows you, even if, politically they might be all over the place or they might even lean right, even they were like, yeah, minimum wage should be higher. So when you give people a direct vote, how many states have we legalized weed through a direct vote? I mean, this stuff that's all important. So there's hope. There's hope, and we're seeing it right now. He nailed that interview. Can you cooperate more? How about they cooperate more? How about that? Are you going to play ball? I'm here to represent the workers. And if they're not good faith actors in a negotiation, well, we're going to take further action. Oh, yes. The revolution is here. The revolution is here indeed. Again, very proud that we had Chris Malls on Crystal Kyle and Friends before the victory, ahead of the story, trying to help. Very proud that Crystal's had Chris Malls on Breaking Points a number of times. And now, yet again, all the other outlets are playing catch-up. And even now that they're bringing him on, look at the nature of a lot of the questions. The nature is like, you're going to be cool, right? You're going to be cool? Are you going to relax? Are you going to take the scraps? And his answer is a clear-cut hell no. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.